may start introducing yourselves.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon, honorable members of Parliament. My name is Emmanuel Mumba. I'm the acting CEO of the Zambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'll allow my colleagues to introduce themselves. Thank you.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Chair, and good afternoon, honorable members of Parliament. My name is Rebecca Kaumba, and I'm the Business Development Lead at the Zambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chair. Good afternoon, Honorable Members. My name is Msole Kapaku, Researcher at Zambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, Honorable Members. My name is Miriam Chilonga. I'm the Publicity and Marketing Officer.
Thank you very much. Sorry I didn't alert you that you are live on TV, on Parliament TV. So the nation is watching you. Thank you. Members, starting with Honorable Msonda.
Good afternoon, Chair, and good afternoon, witness. I'm Elias Makasa Msonda, Member of Parliament for Chimbamilonga in Northern Province and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair, and good afternoon, our witness. My name is Honorable Chushika Sanda, Member of Parliament for Chisamba. You're welcome.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon, honorable members, and good afternoon, witness. I'm Cliff Mpundu, Member of Parliament for Chembe constituency and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Good afternoon, witness. I'm Peter Piri, Member of Parliament from Karika constituency. Thank you.
Secretariat.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon. I'm Rachel Mumba Mhongo from the Office of the Clerk.
My name is Newton Samakai, Member of Parliament for Mwinilunga constituency in the Northwestern Province. I'm sitting in for the chairperson who's out on other official duties. Thank you very much. Like I said, you are before us to help us discuss the issue of the operations of the Financial Intelligence Center. To help you or guide you as you carry out your conversation with us, would want to extend the immunity that we enjoy as members of Parliament. It's extended to you in the course of our conversation today, and this is provided for under Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, and this is to just let you inform that the information that you are going to provide to this committee must be that which is factual, that you believe is correct. There is no need for you to misinform the committee, because then if you did that, we will end up making a wrong decision. So you are protected in that regard. But should you provide information that you believe is not correct and you give it to us, then the reverse of this law that I have mentioned, Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, may visit you. So please be guided as you provide the information. You may start our conversation, and you do it under 20 minutes.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chair. The Zambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry Chair expresses its sincere gratitude to the Committee on Cabinet Affairs for the opportunity to present private sector perspectives on the operations of the Financial Intelligence Center. Chair, as Zambia continues to strengthen its economic governance framework and deepen financial inclusion, the effectiveness and operational approach of the Financial Intelligence Center have significant implications for the business environment, investor confidence, and the growth of the private sector. It is therefore, Chair, important that the Financial Intelligence Center's operations strike an appropriate balance between the regulatory oversight and the facilitation of legitimate business activities. Chair, in our submission, ZACI provides observations and recommendations informed by the experiences of its members across various sectors of the economy, with the objectives of supporting a collaborative, risk-based and development-oriented approach to financial intelligence and compliance in Zambia. Chair, the first item that we'll comment on is the adequacy of fiscal, legal and policy framework in line with international anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financial standards. Chair, Zambia's legal and policy framework governing FIC is broadly aligned with the international anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing standards, particularly the Financial Task Force recommendations. The establishment of FIC and the enactment of supporting legislations demonstrates the government's commitment to combating financial crimes and safeguarding the integrity of the financial system in Zambia. The framework provides for key AML/CFT measures, including customer due diligence, suspicious transaction reporting, and information sharing. However, Chair, ZACI observes that the operational experiences from enforcement agencies reviews legal and structural limitations that reduce the framework's effectiveness in practice. In particular, Chair, the large sequential transmission of financial intelligence between reporting institutions, the FIC, and investigative agencies introduce critical time lags. Chair, given the speed at which financial crimes are committed and concealed, such delays weakens the ability to preserve evidence and trace illicit funds. Chair, ZACI further notes that statutory limitations on account freezing powers, which currently restrict to short-term durations, constrain investigators' ability to conduct comprehensive financial investigations before assets are dissipated. Chair, this challenge is especially pronounced in complex cases involving layering techniques and cross-border transactions. Chair, additionally, the current legal framework does not adequately address emerging risk linked to financial of virtual assets, cryptocurrency, and other non-bank financial channels that are increasingly used to bypass traditional financial systems. Chair, the absence of explicit inclusion of virtual asset service providers within the definition of accountable institutions represents a growing regulatory gap. Chair, ZACI also notes that while shell companies and corporate vehicles are frequently identified during investigations, the framework lacks provisions for proactive detection and monitoring of structures, particularly with respect to the beneficial ownership transparency. Chair, ZACI therefore acknowledges that while the legal framework and policy framework is generally adequate, it requires targeted reforms, regular updating to remain responsive to evolving risks, enforcement realities, and international best practices, including enhanced risk-based supervisions, expanded asset freezing powers, and stronger regulations of emerging financial technologies. Chair, the next item that we'll provide our comment on is the extent of interagency coordinations and stakeholder collaborations. Chair, from an operational and investigative perspective, FIC has established functional coordination mechanisms with key law enforcement, regulatory and supervisory bodies, including Bank of Zambia, ZRA, DEC, SCCA, and other investigative agencies. Chair, these relationships have enabled financial intelligence to trigger and support investigations, particularly in matters involving tax evasion, unexplained wealth, corruption, and illicit financial flows. Chair, evidence from case development indicates that collaborations between FIC and revenue enforcement agencies has been especially effective where access to custom, trade, and tax data is available. The integration of datasets has improved the identification of trade-based money laundering technologies or topologies, under-invoicing and over-invoicing schemes, and organized tax fraud networks. Chair, however, the operation constraints continue to limit full effectiveness of interagency cooperations. Intelligence flows remain largely sequential rather than integrated, resulting in delays between initial suspicious transaction reporting, financial analysis, and investigative actions. Chair, these time lags affect the ability to secure evidence, restrain assets, and disrupt ongoing criminal activities. Additionally, Chair, the absence of real-time intelligence sharing platforms and structured feedback mechanisms weakens case prioritization and reduces the value for financial intelligence output. Chair, from an enforcement standpoint, these gaps also undermine private sector confidence in the reporting regime, as reporting institutions receive limited feedback on the utility and outcomes of submitted reports, reducing the perceived impact of proactive compliance. Chair, Zaki is of the considered view that interagency coordination would be substantially strengthened through the adoption of secure, fully digitized and two-way intelligence sharing framework supported by joint case management systems, clear intelligence to investigation escalation protocols, and regular operation engagement with reporting entities. Chair, the next item that we are required to comment on is the effectiveness of FIC in detecting, analyzing, and reporting financial crimes. Chair, FIC has demonstrated steadily improving institutional capacity in the receipt, analysis, and dissemination of financial intelligence. Enforcement experience consistently shows that the operational value of financial intelligence is highly time sensitive. In several cases, Chair, intelligence is disseminated to investigative agencies after critical delays, by which time suspect may have relocated, assets may have been dissipated, and transactions trails obscured. Chair, such delays reduces the likelihood of asset restraint, evidence preservation, and successive prosecution. Chair, Zaki therefore observes that a single intelligent dissemination often generates multiple deliberative or spin-off investigations across agencies. While this reflects analytical value of FISC output, it also exposes system constraints, including limited prioritization mechanism, stretched investigative capacity, and weak intelligence to action escalation processes. Effectiveness, Chair, therefore, should be assessed not merely by the volume of reports being reproduced, but by tangible enforcement outcomes, including timely asset restraint and recovery, disruption of organized criminal networks, successful prosecutions, and recovery of lost public revenue, enforcing analytical depth, escalating dissemination timelines, and strengthening outcome tracking mechanisms would significantly improve the impact of the financial intelligence framework. Chair, our fourth item was on the challenges affecting the effectiveness of the Financial Intelligence Center. Chair, Zaki does identify several systematic, operational, and emerging risks which constrain the effectiveness of the Financial Intelligence Center. Chair, number one is institutional and resource capacity constraints. Chair, we note that the Financial Intelligence Center operates at a relatively lean institutional despite an expanding statutory mandate and an increasing complex financial reports. Chair, limited human and analytical resources constrain the center's ability to process intelligence, conduct in-depth analysis, and engage in proactive interventions. Chair, the next challenge that we note is technology and systems gap. Fragmented reporting systems undermine the speed, efficiency, and operational impact of the Financial Intelligence Center. In a financial ecosystem, Chair, characterized by near instant transactions, the absence of fully integrated real-time digital platforms delays actionable intelligence and weakens investigations or investigative outcomes. Chair, the next items is the evolving financial crimes typologies and sophisticated schemes that are being used. Chair, criminal networks are increasingly exploiting virtual assets, digital payment platforms, informal value transfer systems, and non-bank financial channels that have not been fully regulated. Chair, these schemes are growing in complexity, requiring the Financial Intelligence Center to continuously update its analytical methodologies, tools, and expertise to effectively address this growing trend. Chair, our fourth submission was on the awareness, supervision, and compliance deficiencies affecting the Financial Intelligence Center. Limited awareness, Chair, among small and medium enterprise, designated non-financial businesses and professions, and the general public increases the systematic vulnerability. Chair, weak supervisory coverage further heightens the risks of facilitation of financial illicit activities. Chair, in the interest of time, the other item that we had considered was on the cross-border and trade-based illicit financial flows, which is one of the major challenges as well. The other one was the continuous learning and adaptation needs that need to be inculcated into the FIC framework. I'll quickly move to the recommendation, Chair, and the way forward. Our submission as Zaki is that, one, we need to enhance and modernize our legal framework, Chair. And secondly, we need to accelerate digital transformation to fully automate and improve our intelligence to respond to the growing trends in financial crimes. The next item is that we need to strengthen interagency case management if we have to tackle this growing need. Chair, we also need to develop advanced technical and analytical capacities. We need to build expertise in financial forensics,
recording in progress,
data analytics, and cybercrime to manage the evolving financial crimes. Chair, we also need to enhance preventive awareness and compliance culture within the Zambian ecosystem. Chair, formalize public-private collaborations. There is need to enhance that and extend it to issues around financial intelligence. We also need to implement outcome-focused performance metrics. We need to align institutional performance indicators with tangible results, Chair. And in conclusion, Chair, the Financial Intelligence Center is central to protecting the integrity of Zambia's financial system, safeguarding national security, and maintaining investor confidence. Operational experience demonstrates that timelines, technological sophistication, legal authority, and institutional capacity are critical determinants of effectiveness. Chair, through targeted legal reforms, advanced digital integration, robust interagency collaborations, and proactive public-private partnerships, the Financial Intelligence Center can effectively detect, disrupt, and prevent financial crimes and illicit financial flows. ZACI affirms its commitment to supporting the government and stakeholders in strengthening Zambia's financial integrity framework, recognizing that a well-resourced, technically advanced, and strategically empowered FIC is essential for a secure, transparent, and a stable economic environment. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. Members, there you are. Any interventions, Honorable Mpundo?
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you, witness, for your elaborate submission. Zambia Chambers of Commerce, you are aware that most of your members can be a channel of these illicit financial flows. Now, in the way of you helping the members to fall in this trap of money laundering and all illicit financials, do you have any deliberate program to sensitize your members about this vice, such that you are also part and parcel of making sure that FIC operate effectively? Thank you.
Any other? Honorable Msonga?
Thank you, Chair. Zach, I note your very detailed and elaborate presentation. But on page 4, in fact, the first paragraph on page 4, you are saying that Zach is of the considered view that interagency coordination will be substantially strengthened through the adoption of a secure, fully digitized, and two-way intelligence sharing framework. Now, from your interactions as a ZAC, would you give us any examples of jurisdictions where this framework has been fully digitized and is secure, so that we can draw lessons from those jurisdictions? Thank you.
Any other? Or maybe you can respond to the two queries.
Chair, thank you so much, and honorable members, thank you for the important questions. Indeed, within the Chamber's framework, before even we onboarded a member, I think there is a requirement in our membership forms that compliance is one of the issues that we look at. But also, just as a preventive measure, there are programs that we have developed especially for our small and medium enterprise to develop their capacity and build awareness. We are deliberate whenever we have an engagement to share issues around financial crimes and illicit financial trade, especially to the SMEs, but also to large sector players. We have developed interventions around making sure that information is shared and invite critical stakeholders to speak to them on issues of financial crimes and illicit financial trade. In terms of best practices where issues around financial crimes have been made, I think, Chair, we have been tracking quite a number of African countries with similar arrangements, but to specifically, like I had mentioned in the submission as well, I think what has been missing is digitizing our services. I wouldn't point at one particular African country to say they have fully automated their systems, but what we have observed, especially from the interactions with our members and many stakeholders, is that our systems sometimes are fragmented. Take for instance, maybe we comment on many tax platforms that have been developed, for instance with the Zambia Revenue Authority. We do experience quite a good number of system failure sometimes, which affects private sector compliance to issues around taxes. So from the interactions with the private sector within Zambia, one of the major causes has been, one, for government also to fully roll out digitization as an avenue to limit, one, corruption and illicit financial trade. And we have seen at many border entry points where, for instance, digital scanners have been put forward, and the limited number of issues around corruption, tax evasion have reduced automatically. So I think from the private sector within Zambia, there have been a growing need to say, I think digitization has shown us that we can reduce these vices, so we should extend to reporting agencies to automate and ensure that there is system enhancement and system are fully integrated, so that reporting agencies are able to receive information in real time. I submit, Chair.
Thank you. Any other interventions? Any other interventions? Yeah. From me, I would want to find out whether you are certified as an institution, and I believe you are part of the 28 institutions that are collaborating with the FIC. Are you satisfied with the levels of coordination amongst the institutions?
Thank you so much, Chair. I think even in our submission, Chair, we did highlight the fact that I think we have seen quite some growth in terms of detection and investigations, but we still need to do a lot of work in terms of information sharing, especially now that we are in a digital world. We need to look at our regulations and if they are responsive to the evolving needs, especially from the private sector, because the Financial Intelligence Center, Chair, like I had mentioned, they are very critical to maintaining the financial integrity, which also is very important to making sure that we continue making it easy for the private sector to thrive. So overall, there have been progress, but there is a lot of work that we need to do in terms of interagency information sharing and digitizing our systems to improve or report to the growing needs of the digital system and the private sector. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. My last question would be that you've bemoaned the fact that the regulatory framework is not strengthened. Would you be willing to contribute to the enhanced regulatory framework of FIC as an institution?
Thank you so much, Chair. As the largest private sector organization, Chair, our members are affected, and therefore we are more than ready to partner with government and other stakeholders to make sure that we enhance our legal framework. I submit, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for this engagement. I think we have come to the end of our conversation, and I would therefore wish to, in inverted commas, address you of the immunity that we gave you. Thank you.
TV, the station that is dedicated to bringing Parliament closer to you. And just there we listened to a submission from the Zambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The first witness for this afternoon's committee, that's the Committee on Cabinet Affairs. Just a reminder that this committee is looking at the review of the operations of the Financial Intelligence Center. And later on, we do expect yet another submission from the Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security, and later on a submission from Zambia Police Service. Just to mention that this afternoon's focus is on Cabinet Affairs, and also to mention to you, dear listeners, that on our sister station Parliament Radio, you are also able to follow deliberations in another committee that is sitting, that is the Committee on Legal Affairs. So please listen into deliberations on Parliament Radio and also follow deliberations on Parliament TV. All this is in the aim of bringing Parliament closer to you. So we'll take you back to the committee when it's ready to receive that submission from the Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security. In case you've just tuned in, we're showing deliberations in the Committee on Cabinet Affairs, and the topic is review of the operations of the Financial Intelligence Center. Stay tuned to the station dedicated to bringing Parliament closer to you.